on the New Shepard crew capsule team. She's been with the program for nearly 8 years. Alice, I know you started as a design engineer on the crew systems team, so clearly you know a thing or two about New Shepard.
Yeah, I might know a thing or two, yeah, but it takes an entire team to get to a day like today.
Yes, it does, and we are really excited because we're actually about to hear from Capcom, our capsule communicator, who's going to do some comms checks with our astronauts who are already seated on board New Shepard.
Copy 7, fan bit in work.
Well, while we're waiting on that comms check, Alice, tell us a little bit about your experience having worked on this program for so long.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey for myself, but think about the team that's down there today, Jackie. We've got our astronaut experience team, the crew member 7s, our operations team, and all the folks behind the scenes. They're the ones really making the magic happen today.
That's right. And Alice, I know we've been down at Texas together, and I've seen you on many missions, so thank you for everything you've done for this program.
Yeah, it's been quite a wild ride, and I was lucky enough to be part of some of the first human flights down there, and quite the highlight of my career.
We're hearing from Mission Control that we are about to hear from that capsule communicator just now, Jake Mills, on console today, so let's listen in for that. Right now on that left side of your screen, what you're seeing is our crew member 7 getting our astronauts all ready to close the hatch. Our 6 astronauts today are seated on board the New Shepard capsule. You see the RSS first step over the door, and we're just doing the final touches with our operations team on site prior to closing the hatch and essentially taking the next step in this journey to space today. There she is, Sarah Knights, headset on, stepping out of the capsule.
CC is go for hatch close.
So just there on the bottom right of your screen, you saw our Capcom Jake Mills communicating and verifying that all comms are set and ready to go with our 6 astronauts inside the RSS first step. With that hatch closure, We'll shortly see our team egress off the launch tower. And our astronauts are T-minus 26 minutes from heading to space today. So Alice, tell us a little bit about who are the lucky six on board the capsule.
I'd love to. Yeah, this crew today includes an engineer, an Emmy-winning TV host, Emily Calandrelli, who's also known as the Space Gal to her nearly 3 million followers. We also have Marc and Sharon Hagle on board, who first flew on NS-20 and are now flying again. Sharon is the founder of Space Kids Global, a STEAM-focused nonprofit, and her husband, Marc, is a commercial property developer. Welcome back, Marc and Sharon. We're thrilled to have you. Next, we have Austin Littoral, a risk management professional and winner of the What Not to the Moon giveaway. We also have entrepreneur J.D. Russell, and finally, Hank Wolfond, chairman and CEO of Bayshore Capital. This will be another incredible crew flying to space with us today, Jackie. Here is our crew photo taken earlier this week. Look at those flight suits and those beautiful patches there. It's so cool to welcome Sharon and Marc back on New Shepard today.
Yes, and like you said, Alice, each patch for all of our missions are uniquely and thoughtfully designed with each of our 6 astronauts in mind. And I personally love the neon energy of this patch this time. I'm here for it. You know, another fun fact to share about our unique crews is they all have a special crew name. And this crew has named themselves Starry Nights, which is spelled with a K, Starry Nights with a K. And that's because they're paying homage to their amazing crew member 7, Sarah Nights, which just shows how impactful, you know, the astronaut training experience is.
That's so sweet. I love that so much.
And if you're just joining us, again, welcome. We're about T-minus 24 minutes from New Shepard's 9th human flight. Alice, you've seen many a launch. First time behind the desk. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm so excited, Jackie. Launch day is always a wonderful day, but I can't imagine what those astronauts are feeling right now as they sit in the capsule. They must be buzzing.
Yes, and these astronauts get to experience our planet firsthand. And it's always amazing to see how this really special experience creates a new outlook for them. So let's take a look at the story of New Shepard so far.
Booster.
Is this wild?
Go.
Each person that goes up there,
Oh my golly, this is nuts!
Ground. Go.
all of a sudden has a totally different perspective.
Wow, look at that view.
Capcom. Go.
Of this little place here.
New Shepard is go for launch.
This is heaven!
It's almost like an out-of-body experience.
New Shepard has cleared the tower.
This is a new era where people like a teacher from North Carolina gets to go to space.
Space has always been something I've wanted to do, but it's never been accessible until now.
Look at that view. Look at the view.
It's just unbelievable. You have to see it with your eyes to really, really take it in. Everybody else should go to space. Look at the Earth. Just look outside. Look at the Earth. We're space.
This is a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this.
It was absolutely insane. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. Oh my word. I'm just spinning. That was enlightenment.
This is the best experience of my life, by far. Everyone in the world deserves to see this. Everyone needs to see this. Oh my God.
It's just a dream come true. I wanted to do this my entire life.
I just went to space as the first woman from Mexico.
I think we need to give this gift of perspective to everybody.
Oh man, this is so cool. I always said I'm gonna do it, and I just did it. We went to space!
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine. I can't believe this.
As soon as you land, you will want more of it.
Clearly, New Shepard offers astronauts a life-changing shift in perspective. So far, we've flown 43 people across 8 human flights. After today, that number will increase to 47. And if you're checking my math, 3 people have flown twice, which will include Sharon and Mark. All told, that's just over 6% of people who have ever flown above the Kármán line, and really special, 10% of all women who have flown to space.
Yeah, New Shepard has done things no other rocket has been able to do. Everyday people, just like these astronauts today and the ones that have flown, can visit space. In fact, our last mission, NS-27, we introduced our second human-rated vehicle. It was an uncrewed verification flight for that new rocket. Now, that's not the rocket out there on the pad today, but it will be flying humans soon. We added another vehicle to the fleet to better meet all of the customer demand that we have.
And we love customer demand. There's a lot of people just like these astronauts waiting their turn to experience New Shepard and get that incredible view from space. Sharon and Mark, of course, being 2 amazing examples, taking their second journey across that gantry. We're just about T-minus 20 minutes from liftoff on NS-28, the 9th human flight of our program. Let's meet the stars of the show. Let's learn more about our crew. In seat number 1, we have Austin Littoral, who works in risk management in the financial services industry. He's a husband and proud father of 2 daughters. He spends his free time hiking and cheering for the Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. You know, I personally, as a Steelers fan, don't support that, but it's great for Austin. We know where he's from. He grew up with photos of NASA shuttle launches plastered on his bedroom wall, and this flight will fulfill a lifelong dream of becoming an astronaut. This dream was made possible by Whatnot, the largest live stream shopping platform in North America and Europe. Austin actually won his seat as part of the Whatnot to the Moon giveaway, and having only ever won a Britney Spears shirt from a radio show, I'm a little bit jealous here of Austin. What a giveaway. Seats 2 and 3 are also very special, and we're proud to welcome back 2 returning astronauts, Marc and Sharon Hagle. They both education charities. And in seat number 3 is Sharon. She's the founder of Space Kids Global, a nonprofit she created in 2015, whose mission is to inspire elementary students to excel in STEAM education and especially ensure girls are equally represented. Space Kids Global has done incredible work with students around the country. They work to send student science projects to the ISS. They developed an amazing partnership with the Girl Scouts. They participate in Club for the Future. So much. To date, Space Kids Global has reached nearly 900,000 students. Welcome back, Marc and Sharon.
Incredible. In seat number 4, we have Hank Wolfond. Hank is chairman and CEO of Bayshore Capital in Toronto. Hank has been a pilot for almost 50 years and has dreamed of reaching space since he was a child, watching that historic Apollo moon landing. He holds numerous aviation licenses, including an airline transport pilot's license for fixed-wing aircrafts and a commercial pilot's license for helicopters. He moonlights as a professional pilot on charter, medevac, and organ retrieval flights. To quote Hank, "What I love about aviation is the challenge to improve my skills to fly a more perfect flight. This experience, seeing the world from a cockpit at all altitudes, high and low, over oceans, mountains, African savannas, deserts, and cities across the planet, has never gotten old for me." Well, Hank, we'd say this flight today might give you the most beautiful perspective of our planet. I might be biased a little bit, though. Next up, in seat 5, we have founder and entrepreneur J.D. Russell. J.D. grew up in a military family at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona. Before starting his entrepreneurial career, J.D. served as a federal law enforcement warden to protect fish and wildlife. He founded the Victoria's Secret Russell Foundation to honor the memory of his deceased daughter. The foundation is dedicated to supporting children's education and assistance to families of first responders, and it's a proud partner with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to bring the love of reading to children by gifting books free of charge.
Such a noble mission. And last but not least, in seat number 6, we have Emily Calandrelli, known as the Space Gal to her millions of followers on social media. Emily is an MIT-trained engineer, an Emmy-nominated TV host, and if that's not enough, also a New York Times best-selling author. Everything Emily does is focus on inspiring young people, particularly young girls. She wants them to see themselves in STEM. In addition to authoring children's books, she's also the host of 3 educational TV shows: Exploration Outer Space on Fox stations, Emily's Wonder Lab on Netflix, and Emily's Science Lab, which airs on YouTube. We'll share more of Emily's incredible story a little later in the show. For now, Emily, the Space Gal, what an honor to welcome you on board today. Another incredible crew. These folks have dreamed of going to space for a long, long time, and now they're about to realize that dream. Wow. And the Hagles, welcome back. Welcome back. Another chance to go to space. With that, let's check out New Shepard on the pad. We're about T-minus 15 minutes. You're seeing New Shepard is alive on the pad awaiting launch. We're about T-minus 14 minutes. If you're just joining us, this is the 28th flight for the New Shepard program and our 9th human flight. Now, just like we've done on past missions, today's crew made their own postcards to fly to space on behalf of Club for the Future, Blue Origin's nonprofit. Every time we fly astronauts, each one creates a postcard to take with them to space. Now here they are. Here are our crew in the Astronaut Training Center designing their postcards.
It's such a neat tradition that every astronaut gets to make a postcard and fly these postcards to space. You know, the reason we fly postcards is because we want to make space more accessible to students. We want to see kids around the world reach for careers in STEAM. Another cool thing, in addition to the physical postcards, we're also introducing a new online way for students to draw digital postcards and send their art to space on New Shepard. If you want to participate in this program, it's a great way to jump in. Anyone can do it. It's free. It's easy. It's super fun for the whole family. I mean, I've done it a few times. I know you have too. To send your digital art to space, just simply go to draw.clubforfuture.org.
And something else that's really unique, Crayola, Space for All, Club for the Future, and Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex recently announced a national initiative called Creativity Launches the Future. It's a program for students, parents, and the community to nominate exceptional educators. We all know them, we all love them, for a chance to win a VIP trip to the KSC Visitors Complex. You can nominate that outstanding educator in your life by following the club on its social handle, @Club4Future. Applications close on January 20th.
Yeah, get those nominations in. You all know rock star educators. So, you know, this is something that Club just loves to do. We find these great organizations doing fantastic work. We join forces for good. So yeah, it's great to see that we're linking arms with Club for the Future and recognizing all these outstanding educators. That's why we do this.
Absolutely, Allison. Our future is bright, absolutely, seeing all these inspired students. We're at T-minus, just under 12 minutes to take off. Let's check out New Shepard on the pad. We'll be right back.
Flight Director on Channel 1 enjoy Shepherd to go full for terminal count and launch. Capsule, go. Booster, go. Ground.
Go. Safety.
Go.
Capcom. Go. Engine. Go. I have all goes. The flight director is go. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence the terminal count.
Wilco.
What we all just heard was an amazing go, no go poll to confirm that the NS-28 mission is a go for launch today. We're just under 10 minutes until takeoff. It's getting exciting here. Let's take a moment and talk about the flight and the flight profile of New Shepard. It's what we call a suborbital flight program, and it's a very unique and special flight profile. And Alice, you know a lot about this. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the suborbital flight is a fantastic way to experience space since it's so accessible. No longer do you need to spend years training to be a professional astronaut to go to space. Suborbital flight really opens up to everyone. It's a simple parabolic flight, straight up and straight back down flight path that spans about 15 minutes total. So it's very accessible for everyday people and to smaller organizations that want to send experiments with technology at a smaller scale than, let's say, sending things to the International Space Station. You know, those researchers can get their results back that same day they launch into space. It's so cool to be able to hand those payloads back hours after they went to space.
It is, and one of the missions that Alice and I got to be together in West Texas was a research flight, and just the joy of those researchers getting their experiments back minutes later was, I'll remember that forever. The New Shepard rocket has a vertical takeoff, vertical landing architecture. It contrasts with New Glenn, which will launch very soon from our Cape Canaveral site. New Glenn is our orbital rocket that will deliver just about anything to low Earth orbit, to lunar orbit, and even deeper into the solar system. Together, these launch systems, New Shepard and New Glenn, cover the gamut of needs for all kinds of space customers. So let's dive in a little deeper on that New Shepard suborbital flight profile.
7, 6.
New Shepard's mission begins when the countdown clock reaches 0.
2, 1, 0.
At this point, the engine will start and the rocket will lift off of the pad. It will continue under the boost phase for about 2.5 minutes until main engine cutoff. 20 seconds later, the crew capsule will separate from the booster and the astronauts will unharness and enjoy 0G. The crew capsule will continue past the Kármán line to an ultimate apogee of 350,000 feet, or 100 kilometers. The booster will autonomously land on the landing pad, ready to be prepped for its next flight. Around 3.5 minutes after separation, the crew capsule will begin to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Parachutes will deploy around an altitude of 7,000 feet, or 2,100 meters, providing a nice, slow descent back to Earth. After landing, astronauts exit the capsule and are greeted by the Blue Origin ground crew, family, and friends to celebrate and reflect on their flight. New Shepard, an adventure unlike anything on Earth.
All right. We are T-minus 6 minutes and 30 seconds until launch. And as the mission team works toward liftoff here shortly, let's chat more about one of our very special astronauts, Emily Calandrelli, known by her millions of followers as the Space Gal.
Emily is all about inspiring young people, especially young girls, to see themselves in the world of STEAM. She's authored not one, not two, but 9 children's books and is the host and executive producer of the Emmy-winning show Exploration Outer Space. Since 2014, the show has been taking us on these awesome trips through space, showing off some really cool missions and the latest advancements in science. And as Emily checks out space agencies, private space companies, and universities, I mean, come on, how cool of a show.
It's so cool. Emily is amazing. And actually, on my flight over here for the webcast, literally the person in the seat next to me didn't know them. They were a stranger. They were watching Emily Calandrelli videos, inspiring the next generation.
Oh, my goodness.
It was so timely.
Emily is also the co-creator and host of Emily's Wonder Lab on Netflix, where she makes science fun and accessible for families through engaging STEAM-focused experiments, just like the one you're seeing on your screen. Most recently, Emily's launched a new YouTube series, Emily's Science Lab. In this show, she continues her mission of making science hands-on, fun, accessible, teaching families how to conduct all these popular experiments from her books right at home.
It's so impressive. I know all my cousins also love Emily Calandrelli. It's amazing.
But wait, Jackie, there's more.
There's more.
Yes. Emily has also worked on campaigns to improve TSA's treatment of breastfeeding mothers and to enhance parental leave in the space industry. I mean, Emily Calandrelli, you are a force for STEM education.
She really is a superhero, Alice. Emily has done so much for our younger generation, and we're honored to have her aboard New Shepard today. I think she's someone who definitely needs to be an astronaut. That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's definitely time, Emily. Thank you for all that you do, for all of those young children that you inspire. We hope that you have the most magical experience today in space. Soak it all in. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, and Emily talks a lot about where she's from in West Virginia, and also being from that region. It's amazing that she's bringing space to, areas of the country too, where maybe they weren't as familiar. And it's so inspirational, everything that she's doing. We are getting close here, Alice. We're at about T-minus 3 minutes and almost 30 seconds. Let's take a moment and toss it over to New Shepard, get some of those views as we get a little closer, inching towards our liftoff time. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're just under 3 minutes to launch. We have heard there are some frame rate issues with the YouTube feed. So if you're experiencing that, please head over to blueorigin.com/live. As New Shepard awaits liftoff here, just T-minus 2 minutes, we'll go through a series of final vehicle checks. Let's await those checks and listen in. These are some of the really, unique design elements of the New Shepard vehicle.
Yeah, you'll see there on your screen that gantry-way is retracting from the crew capsule. That is what the astronauts walk across to get into the crew capsule this morning, and it retracting is a great sign. This is all nominal. Soon we will see some additional checks. Let's stand by and take a look. It looks like an absolutely beautiful day in West Texas. Here we go with the aft fin checks. Those fins are at the base of the rocket. They help to steer the vehicle upon ascent and descent. Them wiggling here is totally normal. We do this final check just a minute before launch. You'll see New Shepard breathing here. In the final minutes, we're handing over to the vehicle for, the last couple seconds here. We'll see the engine nozzle gimbaling, perhaps. This is also a very nominal check. Make sure that we can maneuver the rocket up and down today. We're also keeping an eye on pressures and temperatures in that propellant tank. We need both of those in the green zone today for launch. We're at T-minus 30 seconds. Let's hand it off to Mission Control and launch this rocket.
Tap off, temp low. Looking to proceed.
This is thermal.
Believe so. T-minus 16. Guidance internal.
Yeah, go to proceed.
T-minus 10.
Go to proceed.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1. Ignition.
New Shepard has cleared the tower and is heading to space. Follow along with us on your screen. We have velocity picking up. We're gaining altitude as New Shepard pierces through the atmosphere. You see that BE-3 engine at 100% power level. New Shepard is approaching max Q here soon, where the aerodynamic stress on that vehicle is at its max. New Shepard has passed max Q. BE-3 is pushing back up to 100% as the atmosphere gets thinner and higher.
40,000 feet.
Yeah, right now the astronauts are experiencing increasing Gs. This is going to increase from 1 to 3 Gs here. That's 3 times your weight pushing you down into that seat as you launch to space.
Quite a ride. We're nearing 2 minutes of boost, about 2 minutes into our mission. So our next big milestone here is main engine cutoff, where that BE-3 engine will temporarily terminate.
2 minutes negative MDF.
There it is, that MECO, or main engine cutoff. Our vehicle is now coasting at 2,000 miles per hour. Coming up here soon, we'll have the separation of the crew capsule from the booster. And what do we have there, Alice? On the bottom of our screen, we have our 0G indicator.
250,000 feet.
You can see it in the center of your screen. Separation is confirmed. The crew capsule is floating in 0G as the New Shepard booster starts its descent back to the landing pad. An absolutely huge congratulations to all 6 of our crew. They are officially astronauts. Wow, I cannot imagine what our 6 astronauts are experiencing. They're seeing the curvature of the Earth from space, maybe doing a backflip or two. You know, I can't confirm that right now, but that maybe is what I would be doing. And as we mentioned, you can see the separation between the crew capsule and the booster very clearly here in the center of your screen. So you can see this booster altitude is dropping rapidly, right? And the velocity is picking up as that new Shepherd booster heads back to the West Texas desert.
Yeah, I can imagine the astronauts are unbuckled from their seats right now, looking out those huge windows, enjoying a moment, taking some pictures together. The crew usually has something choreographed before the flight, so they know what they're doing up there, and I'm sure it's just a phenomenal moment they're all having together.
I feel like Marc and Sharon on board are, you know, the astronaut experts, right? They're professionals here now on their second flight.
They're the tour guides.
Yes, yes.
We can really see that booster coming back down now. We're at just around 260,000 feet for that booster.
Yeah, and Alice, that booster lands about 2 miles north of where it took off from on our landing pad. At about 5.5 minutes here into the mission, the booster screaming back down to Earth and our astronauts enjoying 0G. So far today, we're seeing a perfectly nominal flight. And again, today is our NS-28 mission. It's our 9th human flight, but this booster you're seeing head back to Earth here has flown 12 times. You see that booster altitude is at about 80,000 feet. Those wedge fins, the steering fins, the ring fin, those unique design elements that we discussed earlier in the show are working together to guide the booster down to the landing pad. Soon here we'll hear that sonic boom. There go the brakes. Our speed will start pretty rapidly decreasing here. Standing by for that BE-3 engine relight. Just a gorgeous view. There's the BE-3 engine relight. The landing legs deployed, the West Texas dust in the air.
And touchdown. What an incredible sight to see. Let's let this dust clear and we'll see.
There it is. The new Shepherd booster.
Yeah, the booster return is truly one of our proudest moments at Blue because it really does show the incredible engineering and all the hard work that's gone into bringing a rocket safely home from space. And that rocket is ready to be reused.
Again, you know, we, like you said, Alice, the booster touchdown is, of course, one of the proudest moments. It's, you know, an amazing feat of engineering, but our show and our mission are not over. As we mentioned before, you know, the shape of that crew capsule causes it to descend significantly slower, of course, than the booster here. So our astronauts at this point are buckled into their seats. They're headed back down, and we'll check in with them shortly.
And there is our capsule under 3 main parachutes. Now, what a beautiful sight to see. Oh my gosh, I love this. Now, while those parachutes are essential in providing a gentle touchdown for that crew capsule, it's also outfitted with a retro thrust system. That's going to be at the base of the crew capsule. You'll see that fire here shortly, just moments before touchdown.
Yeah, and Alice, when that capsule is just about to land, it's only like 1 or 2 miles per hour. So, you know, the combination of the 3 main parachutes with that retro thrust system you just explained really bring it down for this nice, soft touchdown. And at this point, right, our astronauts, they had, you know, time and space. They flew on a rocket, and now they're coasting back to Earth, back to that West Texas desert, to their awaiting friends and family here shortly.
Yeah, they're probably just starting to take some deep breaths here.
Yes.
We can see the beautiful view here of the capsule descending with the mountains in the background. We're just a few hundred feet from touchdown. What a beautiful flight today. You'll see our velocity there, Jackie, is just around 16 miles an hour. That will, like you said, decrease to just 1 or 2 miles an hour. Let's take a look. Watch for that cloud of dust. There it is. Our crew capsule is safely on the ground. A big touchdown moment there. Incredible sight to see. And, you know, now that our capsule is on the ground and our parachutes are there, it's time for our recovery team to drive out as a convoy to the crew capsule. They're going to do a few things before we have the crew step out. They're going to safe the vehicle. We'll have crew member 7 walk around and get some big thumbs up and smiles from all the astronauts. And then shortly we'll see a hatch opening. So let's stay tuned.
Yeah, and Alice, I know you've actually driven these recovery vehicles racing out towards the desert to see the astronauts. What's that like? I hope to be a passenger in that car with you one day.
It's a thrill. Oh my gosh. It's incredible to get out there and be in such a remote place and have such a cool and futuristic, piece of engineering sitting out there waiting for us to let the 6 astronauts out.
Love that contrast. And while we wait on our recovery crew to come out here, safe the vehicle, open the hatch, we have a very special guest joining us, one of our former New Shepard astronauts, someone who has experienced that very flight profile firsthand, Carson Kitchen, the youngest woman astronaut to cross the Kármán line. Let's patch in Carson.
Hi, it's such a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for having me. This is just so exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little emotional watching this launch.
I can imagine, Carson. I'm so happy to see you. Now, you've been through this before, so you have a very, very unique perspective. Tell us, so our astronauts just flew on a rocket, they were in space, and they just landed back under those beautiful parachutes. What was going through your head? What do you think's going through their head in this moment?
Honestly, I bet that they're just overcome with emotion. It's quite an interesting feeling being back on Earth. You're just so grateful for the experience that you just had because it really immediately changes your life. I was also really grateful to be home in one piece, to be completely honest with you. But I know that they're eager to reunite with your family and tell them all about the wonderful things that they just saw and that they felt. And to be completely honest, I bet they're a little bummed that the experience is over, wishing that they could spend a couple more minutes in space.
Wow. And I mean, I can't even imagine that feeling. What an incredible experience. And I know it's probably hard to say, so I might let you say more than one. But if you had to pick a top highlight from your flight, what would you say was your favorite moment? I know this is a tough one.
You are right. It's definitely tough to pinpoint. I would say a moment I remember quite vividly is right before making the preparation, when the sky starts to darken and time seems to start slowing down and everything gets a little quieter. That's when the whole experience became very real and very visceral for me, realizing that, okay, I'm actually going to space right now, that this is a process of happening and that this incredible dream of mine was coming true. It's truly unforgettable. Obviously, looking back at our bright, fluorescent, beating heart of Earth is surreal as well.
Carson, your words are poetry. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that description. Seriously. Now, tell us a little bit about the training experience, right? So how long are you in West Texas? How ready did you feel for your flight? Tell us a little bit about that.
So you spend about 5 days in the astronaut village, but you spend about 2 of those days training with the crew member 7 and the rest of the astronauts. The training, they're very long days, but they're incredibly rewarding. The biggest takeaway I got from training is that you succeed and that you fail as a team. Obviously, each person is responsible for playing their part, but we're also responsible for looking out with one another. And training is about preparing for mission success, but it's about working team.
Well, I hope to someday go through that astronaut training experience. Now, we often hear that crews on New Shepard become very tight-knit. Can you tell us, I'm so sorry, coughing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so since we do work on during training, we become very close, very closely. We all have this shared bond of wanting to go to space. We can kind of skip past the small talk and dive deep into our own personal lives kind of quickly. And going to space is such a deeply personal and unique experience, but sharing it with your crew creates this almost indescribable bond. The rarity of such a journey, and witnessing firsthand how vulnerable it is for each of us, transforms each of us, kind of forges this unbreakable connection, almost like family. So my crew and I, we still stay in touch. We share updates on all the exciting things that happen in our lives, and I'm sure that we'll play an important role in others' lives for quite a long time.
Well, Carson, I have a very important question for you because I can't imagine what that's like. What was it like going to space, being the youngest woman ever to cross the Kármán line, and then you had to go back to school? Can you tell us what that was like?
Okay, so going back to school was definitely a transition. I remember taking a test after going to space and being like, this is so stupid. I could not believe I'm not taking a test. But it's been really exciting, actually, to be able to share this experience with members of my community. You know, going to space really changes your perspective on life and how lucky you are to be alive. And so while I do get, sometimes I'm annoyed or bored with the mundane school life, I'm still very grateful to be able to educate myself and to surround myself with an incredible community and to represent not only the greatest public school in the nation, UNC, but also the future of space explorers.
And now you told me a little bit about how you started a club at school, and I know you've mentioned your exciting nonprofit. Can you tell us about that? It's so special that you're giving back to inspiring this next generation, especially young girls.
Absolutely. So I founded and I currently serve as the president of the Carolina Astronomy Association, which I'm proud to say is the only astronomy club here at UNC. And so we're a purely interest-based club, so there's no required background knowledge of astronomy or physics needed. We try to make learning about space and astronomy very immersive and very fun, because I've learned that if you do put a prerequisite of knowledge, people can be very reluctant to join, and it can be very intimidating for them. So we do a lot of fun activities, and it's great to be able to share my experience with all of the members about what going to space was like, what the training was like. But I did also found an organization called Orbital. It aims to inspire and motivate young women to pursue opportunities in the space industry. And so we also provide resources for young women to find unique pathways into the industry. The core mission is to highlight all the unique, incredible ways that contribute to the field and to provide outreach to demystify the process of it.
Well, thank you again. Truly, the impact that you're having back on Earth after this monumental experience in your life, it's just so special. So thank you for everything you're doing. And you have one other very special little treat about this space flight. You and your dad, Jim, both flew on New Shepard. So what is it like, this father-daughter astronaut duo? I imagine, like you said, you're probably the coolest family in the neighborhood. Tell me about that.
So it is a very special connection. You know, it's one thing to talk to an astronaut about their experience, but it's a completely another thing to talk to my father, someone who is so close in my life, and to be able to reflect back on our experiences together, because we do have this once in a lifetime bond, and it allows us to kind of walk through this new life together and to discuss how going to space changed each of us on such a personal and intimate level. And, you know, I was able to see my father, someone who is a role model in my life, go to space and see firsthand how that changed him. And now that I've gone to space, he's able to see how it's changed me, and he's seen me flourish as this new person. So it's kind of an ineffable connection, honestly. But I'm sure that Marc and Sharon also understand that connection. But needless to say, we're definitely going to have a very interesting Thanksgiving this year.
An interesting Thanksgiving indeed. Well, Carson, thank you so much. It was so great to talk to you. Thank you for sharing these unique experiences, and we're so proud of everything you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. I hope you two have a great day.
Thank you. So Alice, the stairs are out. Our crew will be stepping out here shortly. What are these final touches going on here?
Yeah, you'll notice that the astronauts are out of their seat. They're standing in the capsule, having their last final moments together before we crack that hatch open and let them reunite with all of their friends and family. What you're not seeing behind the camera are all of those friends and families lined up waiting to give hugs and kisses and maybe a few tears to their loved ones. Right there you'll see CM7, crew member 7, Sarah Knight, making sure the stairs don't wiggle too much. We wouldn't want that. That's a good test there, Sarah.
That was a great test. Looks pretty stable.
You'll notice workings in the background. We work to safe our parachutes. Those parachutes are reused after each flight, and we make sure that those are all clear so there's no tripping. And it looks like we're about to open the hatch. Let's stay tuned.
Some thunderous applause is always a good sign. Welcome back to Austin. Welcome back again to Marc. Oh, that's a pretty unique flag. A second spaceflight flag is a small and elite group. Oh, and welcome back again to Sharon, carrying a stuffed dog after her dog, Saba. Welcome back to Hank. You're an astronaut, Hank. Congratulations. Welcome back to JD, astronaut JD Russell. And last but certainly not least, the space gal herself, Emily Calandrelli, finally an astronaut.
And there are those big hugs. Oh my gosh, what a special moment.
I told you I'd see you in the capsule. Twice. And no roll, that's right. Man, that was like so smooth, it was scary. Congratulations.
Hey, that was a good hit.
Twice.
I heard it.
Twice.
Don't worry, the spacecraft is okay.
Guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
What a moment for everyone there.
Way to go,
celebrating. They just got back from space, and quite frankly, they probably don't have much to say. Those moments will make you speechless. It will take happened.
And I think one really special thing we heard about all these astronauts is that they are so philanthropic. They inspire the next generation. And I'm sure that this experience, they're going to give back and share.
I was like counting down to Miko. I was like, let us get to Miko. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. When we got to Miko, I was like, boom, I'm not scared anymore. That kick in your pants from separation is wild. It is wild. I had to tell my brain, like, this is normal. This is expected. It's supposed to be a kick in the pants. Oh, my gosh. And we got to weightlessness. I immediately turned upside down and looked at the planet. And then there was so much blackness. There was so much space. I didn't expect to see so much space. And I kept saying, like, that's our planet. That's our planet. It was the same feeling I got when my kids were born. And I was like, that's my baby. That's my baby. And I, like, had that same feeling where I'm, like, seeing it for the first time. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. That's incredible. Yeah. Oh, my God. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. We did it. 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 Oh, man. I'm the 100th woman in space. You're the 100th woman in space. Oh, what a ride. What a ride. Amazing. So when do you come down from this? Like months later, years later?
I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is crazy.
Thanks, Emily.
I love you.
For sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Well, if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will. That raw, emotional, incredible, experience that Emily just shared.
It's so touching.
Beyond
Let's tune
in. I expected before, and it's perspective that adds to the mission that I'm on to combat hate and anti-Semitism, and seeing the world from up that high where you don't see the borders, you don't see the divisions, you don't see all of the lines that divide us, where we hate each other. We're all one people. We're on this very fragile, small planet. It's amazing. You can see the Pacific. You can see the Gulf of Mexico. It's like just incredible. I'm so grateful to you, Sarah, for all of the training that you provided, and it almost worked perfectly. I didn't quite get my crotch belt done up on the way down, but Phil, thank you.
Hey, honored to have
I don't know. It'll take me a while to process this. I thought about my kids and my whole family. I was trying to deliver a message in the middle of space, and there's just so much going on in my head. But I can't wait to go again.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Follow the Hagles.
Yeah. She's coming with me next time. We're gonna do the Hagel thing.
There we go. The other thing, somebody's gonna take it up with the Hagles.
You may want to go with third.
Carry on the tradition.
Hank's words about, seeing that we're all in this together. It's one Earth, we're all on together. That view from space, that overview effect, hearing Hank's, again, these emotional, these raw reactions is so special.
Yeah, it's getting me emotional, quite frankly.
It was great. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't get sick, so I'm very thank you for all that training.
You're welcome. How was the view?
The view is amazing, and I can tell you there's really nothing ever in the world like going into space. When you cross that Kármán line, as you come up to it, you really see nothing, and then you're into nothing, and the stars are going, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming and flying.
Thank you for all your work and the training. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Did a great job on
It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
You want
What an incredible day. What an incredible day for all of us, especially those 6 astronauts that we just heard from on board today's flight. It was an absolute honor to fly you to space. If you would like to follow in the pioneering footsteps of these astronauts and purchase a seat on a future ride to space, visit BlueOrigin.com and click on that big Fly to Space button. Your own journey to visit the Kármán line is closer than you think.
Yes, Alice, that Fly to Space button, it's very direct. Click here, Fly to Space. And if you'd like to purchase a mission patch or other swag to commemorate today's launch, head to the Blue Origin shop for patches, shirts. It's getting cold. You see a hat there. There's so much more. And in the center there's that patch for today's flight, which is what our astronauts wore on their flight suits, and it has a very special meaning behind it. The color pink and the girl in the signature pink overalls represents Emily Calandrelli. The center line in the 2 represents Sharon and Mark's second flight on New Shepard. You saw Mark come out of the capsule holding his 2 sign. The stars represent Austin Littoral's vision for people among the stars. The people at the bottom of the patch represent J.D. Russell's hope for generations of people expanding their understanding of the world. And the wolf in the crew capsule's window represents Hank Wolfond. Like you said, it's his spirit animal. And if you would like to join the Blue Origin team, help fly New Shepard, help build this road to space, we have hundreds of positions across all of our facilities nationwide, including manufacturing sites in Florida, Alabama, Washington, and Texas. Just visit our website for more details at blue.com/careers. I'm Jackie for Alice and everyone here at Blue Origin across the country. Thank you so much for joining us. And until our next mission, Gradatum Ferociter.
Have you ever dreamed of going to space and gazing back on Earth through some of the largest windows that have ever flown in space? We certainly have.
T-minus 10, 9.
A once-in-a-lifetime journey is closer than you think. It's your time to join the new generation of astronauts. To book your flight,